I know these clips will probably seem like this is just the United States government talking back and forth amongst each other, not getting anything done. But I just want you to pay attention to it just so you can go call your representatives, go email them, and let them know that you're not going to stand for these things. Because the first thing I want to talk about is with a representative named Hakeem Jeffries, who's trying to make it seem that parents don't care about what their children are being taught in school, specifically with having sex books in grade school.
Martin Luther King Jr. What else do they want to ban? They want to ban a book called Melissa, a book describing, in very personal terms, the experience of a trans girl beginning to understand her identity. What's so dangerous about that? I was taught in my religion, growing up in the Cornerstone Baptist Church, that we are all God's children. Shouldn't we learn about all of God's children? That's what my religion teaches me. What's so offensive about Melissa? What's so offensive about this book? Let me read a passage. Her heart sank. She had genuinely started to believe that if people could see her on stage as Charlotte, maybe they would see that she was a girl off stage too. Extreme MAGA Republicans don't want your child to learn about the LGBTQ plus experience in America. That's not a decision that extreme MAGA Republicans here in Congress should make, the parents of America.
I like how he selectively took a passage to make it seem like it's innocent, but think about it. Your children shouldn't be learning about sex while they're still in the third grade, especially when they're talking about changing their genders, because we see a lot of individuals, one specifically Jazz Jennings, who is outside herself right now because she doesn't know what to do with her own body because she didn't receive psychological help and her mom manipulated her. And at the same time, I hate when individuals try to bring the Bible into it and selectively choose verses to make them feel better. But at the same time, let's be honest, the Bible already talked about sexual immorality and even touched on transgenderism and drag queens. And it's God don't like it, just to tell the truth. And then we have where the American government has a double standard with your gun right ownership. Like, they think the Second Amendment only applies to the government and not you.
If a person lies on Form 4473 and is a user of unlawful drugs, you can get between 5 to 10 years for that. Is that correct? Is that my understanding?
No, I believe Congress changed the sentence last Congress.
What is that sentence now?
Up to 15.
Up to 15 years. Why hasn't Hunter Biden been prosecuted for the crime that he committed?
I'm not aware of the facts of that case and can't comment on it.
Okay, who do we talk to see why this case is not being prosecuted? I mean, he said very clearly in his book that he used drugs, he had a gun, at least a gun.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman.
State your point of order.
Totally irrelevant and not germane to this proceeding.
Sir, he's got his 5 minutes. Go ahead, continue.
Okay, so I understand why you do not want Mr. Wilcox to answer that question. It's very clear why you don't want, because there's a dual system of justice in America. That's what's going on right now, and everybody's talking about it across America. There's two standards of justice that are going on.
Yep, it seems like the government is still holding the water for the Biden family, because Hunter Biden should be in prison and Joe Biden should be investigated right now. And my last clip that I want to show you is from Representative Wesley Hunt from Texas, who just runs down pretty much the full double standard that the government has for the American citizens versus the elitists and the people in government. And also the left, because the left, there's a double standard of justice in America, and it seems that if you even think about supporting Trump or a Republican, you're treated badly, and the left can get away with anything. I'm just going to roll the clip.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I want to thank the witnesses for being here. I really appreciate your time. Really appreciate it. Thank you. When parents begin exercising their right to question their local school boards during the height of COVID, amid mass mandates, woke curricula, and harassment in schools, how did the DOJ respond? The Department of Justice responded under Merrick Garland with directing the public to report threats of violence to school board members, officials, and workers in our national public schools to a national hotline. One particular case, a mom was reported to the hotline as a threat because she was A, a conservative, and B, she was a lawful gun owner, like myself. The complainant alleged that the mom was a threat because she belonged to a right-wing group known as Moms for Liberty. And I have a real problem with identifying people like this because it's your right to belong to whoever you want to belong to, and that's your freedoms. Another investigation opened because a tip to the hotline, a dad was investigated because according to the complainant, the dad fit the profile of an insurrectionist. I don't really know what that means, but that's interesting. And he had a lot of guns and threatened to use them. Yet when the FBI asked about the complainant about these threats from the dad, the complainant admitted that no specific information or observations or any crimes or threats. According to the FBI, not one of these school board-related investigations resulted in federal arrest or charges, not a single one. Recently, the DOJ announced that they were going to continue to prosecute people from January 6th to the tune of around 1,000 more people to be charged in not so distant future. Now, January 6th was over 2 years ago, and the DOJ is still looking to charge more people. Yet, when there is a true domestic terror threat like Antifa, the DOJ did not direct people to a national hotline, nor do they report these threats to our communities. Now, my colleagues on the left will tell you that Antifa doesn't exist. It's an idea. But my question is where is the intellectual curiosity to determine how Antifa, a highly coordinated domestic terrorist organization, is funded and organized? The DOJ did not set up a hotline for Antifa. They set up a hotline for you. No federal resources were set aside to investigate the violence that we saw unleashed across this country during the Summer of Love in 2020. Please note some of these photos. Wait a minute, that's not January 6th. That's May 31st, 2020. That's right in front of the White House. That's where the president lives, and at the time, President Trump was ushered into a bunker because his life was being threatened. Where was the hotline? Next photo. That's not January 6th either. That's July 27th. That is in Portland. And that is Antifa rioting and pillaging our country. Where was the hotline? Next slide. Well, hot damn. That's not January 6th either. Those are more rioters that are destroying and rioting in Salt Lake City. Next slide. I believe, is that it? But wait, there's more. And that's not January 6th either. That's June 1st, 2020. And that's the streets of D.C. that are being rioted and pillaged by rioters. Where's the outrage? Where's the hotline? This is what domestic terror looks like. This is not a school board meeting. There is no hotline for any of these riots. And we are going to have a hotline that's going to report parents for caring about their children's education. And even further, the DOJ would rather investigate 1,000 more people from January 6th than any single person in these photos. What a shame. And that is why this is no longer the Department of Justice. It is the Department of Subjective Justice.
So just to make it clear, it's on the parents. The parents need to make a big enough fight, a big enough argument. Go talk to your representatives because y'all are going to lead the way. Y'all are the ones who have to protect the next generation. It's not the individuals who have nothing in the fight to lose. So what do you think? Do you think that the government is saying that we can do what we want to do and yeah, we're just going to take your guns and teach your kids about transgenderism and all this good stuff. To me, it looks like the people who believe in no ideology at all but violence, destruction, and chaos are being let loose on the street and having no justice being brought to them. While at the same time, the people who believe in the Constitution, keeping this country together, are being treated as common criminals and even worse, domestic terrorists. It looks manufactured to me. Let me know if you agree or disagree. I'm just using my own lying eyes and ears. Let me know in the comment section down below. I'm your host, TJ Evans, with another installment of the TJ Evans Show. Y'all do your own research. Don't take my word for gold. Y'all stay safe, stay prayed up. Do the YouTube and Rumble thing. Subscribe to the Royal Family Studios page. And also check out my book on Amazon, The Diary of Marvin DeWayne. Peace.